Hello and welcome to Pratik Chess Videos.
Hello chess friends, today we are going to see a game between Anderssen and Steinitz in the year 1866. So let's start the game. Anderssen was white, Steinitz was black. The game started e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6, d3 attacking the e4, d6, and then after d6, now bishop into c6, b into c6, h3, g6. Now g6 is a nice move. Wait, what? Okay. Nice move. We'll place it right here. Yeah, but after g6, now knight c3 was played. And then bishop to g7 with the aim to short castle, short castle, short castle. Bishop g5, pinning the bishop, h6, attacking the bishop. Now bishop to e3, and now c5. Now c6, and then d5 is coming, and also rook b8, so that will be very bad for him. So now rook to b1, but after rook to b1, knight to e8 comes. Well, we have an idea of c6, knight c7, e6, d4. That can be an idea. But now b4. Well, what does b4 do? Well, turns out that white is challenging the queen side because the knight e8 good move idea was to play f5, not some positional maneuver. So the idea all the way was to play the move f5 so that we can achieve a flanks attack. So now it is making way for the b pawn, but now b4, c takes, rook into b4, c5, rook a4, bishop d7. Rook a4 is a dangerous rook journey. Well, there was a quieter alternative, but come on, you are playing Anderssen is white. What would you expect of him? To play quietly? No, man. So bishop to d7, attacking the a4 one. Rook a3 and then f5. Flanks attack. The journey begins. Wow, the flanks marches royally towards victory. And now queen to b1. Idea is queen to b7 with rook into a wait rook into a7 idea. So after queen b7, so there's the queen b7 rook a7 idea, and there are many my ideas at the moment. So yes. So now king to h8 with the idea of I think f4 g5 rook to g8 knight f6 d4 and the king's Indian attack. King's Indian attack, nice one. Actually, but let me tell you one thing. Here, king h8 was a dubious move, and actually Steinitz was winning a pawn in this position. Now pause the video and think. The tactic isn't that easy, but once you find the first move, you'll find the tactic. That's it. Alright. So the move is f into e4, and knight into e4, and then, well, now what? Bishop into h3. That's the thing. And now, well, queen to b3, king to h8 can happen, and after queen to b7, now, well, what should we play? Pause the video and think again. Well, now we play an amazing move, which is kind of perplexing. It's rook into f3. Whoa. Rook into f3, not rook to f4, alright? Rook into f3. It's a good move. I mean, it's pretty perplexing that what is the thing. Right? Because, well, uh, obviously the point is g into f3 runs into bishop into f1, king into f1, and ex I have an extra pawn, and that pawn is a outside pass pawn, one of the most dangerous pawns to have. So that's kind of bad. So now, instead of being a pawn up in a clear better position, Steinitz is opted for king to h8. Alright, so king to h8, and now queen to b7. Well, idea is rook into a7, not bad. But comes a5. We don't want to give our opponent the pawn, because that will be not so nice. And now just rook to b1. Actually, just rook to b1 wins. Idea is that rook b8 is not possible, and, well, we can play queen to b6 later on, exchange the queens, exploit the a5 weak pawn, but just a4 trapping the rook on a3. I mean, it doesn't trap it, but it kind of looks funny that how the rook on a3 is. But now queen d5. Dubious move. White sounds the retreat. Knight d5 was more persistent, but still queen to d5. Who wants to indulge in that? Now queen to c8. Queen to c8. And then rook to b6. With the idea here, well, there can be many ideas, but knight b5, I believe, is the one idea. That's the basis of rook to b6. But now rook to a7. Here we defend the d7 so that no rook to b7 things can be played later on. Now king to h2. Well, white is still moving the pieces here and there. And now f4, we attack the bishop. We finally get to our attack. Bishop to d2. Alright, the drums of war are sounding. Now g5. Idea h. No, not h5. The f1 would be hanging. I think bishop f6, h5, g4. That will be devastating. Now queen to c4, obviously knight to d5 is the idea. Knight to d5, and if you forgot about the a4 pawn, no worries, knight into a4 is also coming. So now queen to d8 comes, attacking the b6. But now rook to b1 comes. Well, now the rook retreats because it is attacked, and now knight to f6. Black starts gaining capital. Now g4 is coming with the threat of knight into g4. Now king to g1 so that the knight doesn't come to g4 with tempo. But now knight to h7. I hope you know what the idea is. The idea is h5 followed by g4 because the pawn is defended by two pieces. Now king to f1, h5, as I said. Now g4 is coming, and the destruction will be devastating. Knight to g1. The knight goes back trying to defend, but now g4. Black just doesn't end. So now h into g4, but then h into g4, and that further opens the h file for the pieces. f3 was played, though that's a pretty bad thing to do, I guess, because this merely strengthens the enemy attack. Actually, many things strengthen the enemy attack because here, see, rook b1, the move that was played, also strengthened the attack. King g1 further made it bad, and knight g1 just made it worse. And then f3 was the kind of the last draw. And now queen to h4 with the idea of, we'll find out, I also don't know. Now knight to d1, trying to calibrate some pieces to defend the h1 with knight f2 things and something. Knight g5, that was the idea. G into f3 is coming. Result will be devastating. Now bishop to e1. What? We are attacking h4 and the move isn't queen into h1. Now queen h7, not queen into e1. Who would give a queen? Now after queen h7, now d4, desperately trying to sacrifice to open up the pathway for the queen to defend, but just no mercy. G into f3, crushing the opponent's king safety. G into f3. A further knight to h3 with the idea of trading the opponent knight, and then I guess we just capture and then rampage. Well, this is an interesting move because c into d4 was a more prosaic way to win, but just knight to h3, who cares? But now bishop to f2, trying to defend the knight, but now with agony after knight into g1. D into c5, not bad. Queen to h3 check. We just don't move the knight, we just give the knight to the opponent. I mean, like free gift, but bad news, the gifts are poisoned one. So king to e1, because if you take here, the consequences will be bad after bishop f6, rook g8 check. I don't like the odds of white surviving this position. So king e1, and now knight into f3 check, rook into f3, queen into f3, knight c3, d into c5. Now idea is queen h1 check, and that's pretty bad. So bishop into c5 comes, but now just rook to c7 pinning, and then knight to d5 attacking the c7, rook into c5, and now queen into c5, and now queen into e4 check. f3 comes, so after queen into e4 check, king to f2 comes, but it's just over, you know that. Rook c8, the rook into c2, that was the final straw, and after knight c7 came queen e3 check, and finally the check was the final one as game over. Finally, what an amazing game by Steinitz. The flanks attack was amazing. The opponent didn't even stand a chance. What a game by Steinitz. Flanks attack was very nice conducted. So this was the game. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon. Thank you.